everybody back and healthy will reflect that. But ultimately, it's going to go down to the same things that everyone's going to talk about. Is okay, so what happens in the playoffs? And you just got to find ways to win.
Well, Troy, it's been a pleasure. Good luck to you. And fans, make sure that you get out to the Cavelli Center in Youngstown, Ohio, this Friday night for Pittsburgh Penguins night with the Stanley Cup to see the Youngstown Phantoms face off against Team USA. Tickets can be purchased through youngstownphantoms.com, and you can always purchase them at the door. Thanks again, Troy.
Thanks, Ken.
Troy Loney, good Canadian kid right there. Class act for sure. He's a guy who's gone toe-to-toe with Bob Probert and Rick Tocchet and Joey Kocher. And so I would love to find a picture of him with chipmunks and wearing Disney ears and all that kind of stuff from the parade. That sounds fun. Sounds like a good time down there in California in the mid-'90s. Not a bad deal to go out there to play hockey, I don't think. Edmonton Oilers making news this week. They fired Dallas Eakins, and I think everybody knew that this was going to happen at some point. I don't know if there's anyone in their right mind who blames Dallas Eakins for what happened. So it was very much, you hear the term so much when someone is let go from an organization that they are relieved of their duties and responsibilities. I don't think it's ever been more true than to say that Dallas Eakins has been relieved of his duties in Edmonton. But the question now is, what is next? What is next for this team? It's obviously a problem that goes further than coaching. There's some personnel issues for sure, but there are some deep-rooted problems in the culture of that organization. As much as we could say that it wasn't coaching, this is also a team that, they were playing a minute in some odd seconds with only 4 men on the ice earlier this season. And, that to me, that just doesn't happen in a team. It doesn't happen in the National Hockey League. Whether it's coaching or the players or whatever, somebody has to be paying enough attention. And I think that's it right there. It's just that there's not a level of focus to where the 20 players who dressed that night, not one of them noticed that there were only 5 guys on the ice during that entire time. The coaching staff didn't notice it for that long, or at least it took them that long to fix the problem. I think there's too many people biding their time or kind of going through the motions in Edmonton, and I think that's really it right now, is that everyone's kind of going through the motions, and it's a big project for Craig McTavish and company to undertake to get this thing to revert. I don't think that they don't care. Don't think that I'm criticizing them of that. It's not that they don't care. It's that I think that it's been so bad for so long that even though the people do care, they can't allow it to get to them the way that a professional should, because they wouldn't be able to sleep at night at this point. I think it has come to that in Edmonton, and that's a rough situation to be in for management and for players. And I don't know what it's going to take to shake things up. Firing the coach is a start, and that's something that absolutely has to happen when you're not having results. The question is, what's the next step going to be? What else is McTavish going to do? Because it can't end with the firing of Dallas Eakins. That's not going to do it. I don't have the answers. There's not a magic wand. It's not going to happen overnight. And it's going to be ugly there for a while. And it might lead to finishing last. And it might lead to Connor McDavid or a Jack Eichel. But can even a generational talent like that be enough to stir the pot? Because it certainly doesn't address all of their personnel issues, too, because not going to do anything for the back line, for the blue line, or the fact that, I think they're okay in goal. I think they're a lot better in goal with Ben Scrivens than what has happened this year. But again, these are professionals who care. they can't care as much as they want to in that city, and that's where they're in trouble. And I think that's why, even with all the talent they have there, they're just not getting it out of. They're not getting that talent out of those people, and that's there's a lot to be thankful for if you're a Penguins fan, because you could say that the Penguins had a really rough time in the early 2000s, and they kind of bought themselves Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and Marc-Andre Fleury and all these high draft picks by doing that. You could say that it's a cheap way around, but man, it's not automatic, is it? I think Edmonton proves that it takes a lot more than just having those high draft picks to be successful. You have to also have the right people in place for all the details. And, Ray Shero, it's not popular to praise him right now necessarily, considering the last year and a half. But right away, he made some unpopular decisions. Everyone wanted to see change, but he was changing some things that I don't think people were ready for or suspecting. Steve Lattin, longtime equipment manager, gone, out the door, and brought in Dana Hines. And it was just a new era, a new time, a new generation of thinking in both hockey and for this Penguins organization. And Ray Shero brought in his people to do things his way, and it became a new identity to this organization. And I think Ray Shero deserves a lot of credit for that. And it's probably going to take some sweeping changes like that in Edmonton, and they've experienced that already. So it's going to be painful. Like, there's more pain in the future for Oilers fans than there is a cure in the near future. And it's recognizing which pain is the cure versus which pain is just pain. I'm trying desperately to think of a positive spin to put on this to close out the show, but it's not really possible. Other than the fact to make a joke about, David Tennant on the way out, in with Matt Smith. So maybe the Oilers just need to find someone who looks like Peter Capaldi or something. Well, that's all we've got for this show. At least the Pens fans have something to be happy about. I mean, 5 out of 6 points without Sidney Crosby. We say it time and time again, Mike Johnston's team finds a way to win and win in new situations and new ways, and this stretch of hockey has been no exception to any of that. You've been listening to the Pens Nation radio show. You can follow us on Twitter at thepensnation.com. Go to iHeartRadio.com or to the app on your phone to listen to the show at any time. Go online to thepensnation.com. You got Hot Take Tuesdays. You got game reactions from Mish. You've got gift recaps. You've got Pittsburgh Bobblehead Theater. Just hours of content to pour yourself into on that website. Thanks again to Troy Loney on Friday night. Head on down to the Cavelli Center in Youngstown. We'll see you there. Team USA versus the Youngstown Phantoms for Pittsburgh Penguins night and the Stanley Cup. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you